Curtis from Oklahoma. You can find many articles and forums espousing how adequate the 6.5 Grendel is for an elk cartridge, and conversely, how underpowered the 6.8 SPC is for the same purposes. My question is, how is that possible? Out to 300 yards, the 6.8 and the 6.5. Remember, the 6.8 is not the 6.8 Westerner. It's the 6.8 SPC, pretty small cartridge. The 6.8 and the 6.5 seem ballistically similar regarding energy, with the 6.8 being somewhat better terminally given the broader projectile, the broader diameter, 27 caliber instead of 26 caliber. Take into account that the 6.5 crowd is very good at referencing ballistics for a 20-inch plus barrel when they're using 16 to 18-inch barrels, and the differences become even narrower. Lastly, if the 1,500 foot-pound requirement is to be believed in respect to elk hunting, are they both not underpowered? Seems to me to 300 yards they're either both capable or not. And then after 300 yards, neither has the power to be used ethically. Thanks for your response. Curtis, I got to commend you. You are doing some good thinking here and some good research on all this ballistic stuff. And that's why we are always talking about it. It's real easy to just say, cartridge X is absolutely the greatest, or bullet weight X is the greatest, and really not know why. But when you start digging into the ballistics and the performances, then it starts to show up like, wait a minute, this great cartridge and bullet that so-and-so is recommending turns out it's not even as good as my puny little 6.5 Grendel out there at 300 yards, or whatever we discover. So I don't have an absolute answer for you here without running some of these numbers myself. I mostly want to say that you are doing a great job of figuring this stuff out. And this is what everyone needs to do. You can't just take answer A as absolute. What was the length of their barrel? Was their muzzle velocity what you can expect from your rig? Or are you going to get something much faster or much slower? And then what's the bullet BC? Is it going to lose a lot of energy downrange? Over the years, I've just come to think that the 6.8 SPC is not a great deer hunting cartridge, let alone elk, simply because it's generally loaded with the lighter bullets. It does not have the powder capacity to drive your traditional 130 to 150 grain bullets very fast. So unless you're shooting subsonic stuff or in fairly close, you're not going to have the trajectory you might want for good performance downrange with these 115 to 120 grain bullets that are loaded often in the 6.8 SPC. Whereas that 6.5 Grendel will generally have a 129 grain bullet, and in a 26 caliber bullet, 129 grains is getting up there, and you do a pretty good job of hanging out your energy, and the bullet weight is sufficient to get a little more penetration, a little more momentum behind that heavier bullet. And I think that's why some guys would say that that one is adequate for elk. I agree it's not optimal for elk, but again, as we always say, the right bullet in the right place is going to do the damage, and you're probably going to be okay. But I agree with you. I wouldn't be hunting elk out to 300 yards with either one of them. I might want to hold it to 200 yards. I know the ballistics, the last time I looked on the Grendel, were pretty impressive out to 300 yards for deer. I do not agree that 1,500 foot-pounds of energy is required to take an elk. It's not energy that kills them. The bullet just has to have enough energy to reach the vitals and damage them, cause the hemorrhaging, and that's how you get your game. So don't freak out about that. So, yeah, I think you're right on it there, Curtis.